Ladies and gents, another very interesting and very affordable fragrance from Abercrombie and Fitch, Authentic Moment. It was released in 2022 and unfortunately it is not spoken about at all, and I guess I know the reason why. But let's first start with the notes and what I feel about it, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on why it is not that popular. A few sprays on my arm just to remind myself the smell of it. And the first accords that I get are some sweet accords, blended in very nicely with some leather notes. Also I get some woody kind of green, woody/green type of notes, and a very pleasant but very smooth trail of powdery note in it too. Unfortunately, it smells a little bit synthetic to me, and it makes this fragrance to feel a little bit cheap. But I must say that the bottle itself looks and feels luxurious. I assume that they used very good quality of glass because the bottle feels really very heavy, and it also looks very nice. I like a lot that they used a magnetic type of lid, and I should say that the magnet here is very good quality. As you can see, it really attaches quite quickly to the bottle. I also like a lot the detail, the leather-like detail, which is attached to the bottle, on which you can see the name of the brand and the name of the fragrance. Again, it looks very simple, but it looks at the same time luxurious, and personally I love how it looks. I also must say that they have some other fragrances in their collection where they use these bottles, but with some different colors, and I really love them a lot. I would say that these bottles became like a signature of this brand because they have many more fragrances with this type of bottle, and yeah, honestly it feels very comfortable when taking and just spraying, and it is not usual as others do. So yeah, I would say 9 out of 10 for the design of the bottle itself. So now let's get to the notes. The top notes are rhubarb, red fruits and mandarin orange. In the first seconds after I sprayed the fragrance on my skin, I felt strongly the presence of alcohol, which evaporates quite quickly, and after that immediately I start to feel some kind of sweetness of the red fruits, but this sweetness is not too sweet, it is not sparkly nor very juicy. It is more dull and very subtle, and it kind of gets lost in the next notes, which is rhubarb and mandarin orange. I feel the rhubarb very well, but not that much mandarin. I also need to say that I feel kind of a powdery vibe, which I believe comes from patchouli and leather, which are present in the base. And this powdery trail is present from the beginning till the end. In the middle we have jasmine and rose, but they are so subtle and almost unnoticeable that I really do not get them at all along the way, so they kind of, you know, get lost in all these powdery notes that are in the base. Even now, after a few minutes, I can feel quite nicely the sweetness of kind of like strawberry-like / rhubarb note, which is blended very nicely in with the powdery note. Then in the base we have a lot of sexy and attractive notes like leather, musk, cedar, ambroxan and patchouli, and here the things become a little bit more interesting. As I already mentioned in the beginning, I felt instantly leather and kind of a green note type, which comes from patchouli. So I'll leave this fragrance to dry down for around 20 minutes on my skin. I'll come back and I'll tell you what are my thoughts about it. 20 minutes have passed and I am back, and I can tell you now that I can feel better the leather, which gives this fragrance a bit of smokiness, a bit of warmth, and it also makes this fragrance to be a bit sexier. The musk makes this fragrance to be a little bit smooth, a little bit sexy at the same time. It gives a little bit of sweetness, but not candy-like sweetness. I would say a kind of clean type of sweetness, very subtle, very unnoticeable almost, but also very attractive, appealing and very sexy. Then the cedar together with patchouli makes this fragrance to feel a little bit woody, a little bit earthy, a little bit green, but also it helps the fragrance to stay longer on the skin. But let's not forget ambroxan, which also enhances the fragrance longevity on the skin, and also it gives a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of warmth and kind of an animal animalic type of scent and vibe to the fragrance. I would describe this fragrance as red berries / strawberry, slightly sweet, powdery, woody, and leathery type of fragrance. Very subtle and very skin-like type of scent in the dry down, almost unnoticeable. In short, a subtle sweetness of a strawberry surrounded by powdery and smoky leather notes. I would say that this fragrance is present on my skin around 2 hours, maybe 2.5 max, and that's why the longevity of this fragrance is quite weak. But the same is with the projection and with the sillage. Unfortunately, they are quite weak. This fragrance becomes very unnoticeable after a short time, so that's why I would give this fragrance a 4.5 mark, just because of that. Otherwise, the smell itself, the scent itself is interesting, and yeah, I think it could be a better blend of the ingredients, but also they would have to do something else so this fragrance could stay longer on the skin. I would wear this fragrance on a daily basis, but also to the office, because as I mentioned already, it is not loud at all, it is not screaming anything strong, it is very subtle, it is at the same time it is pleasant, and I would say it's almost unnoticeable, so it will not offend anyone for sure. And as I mentioned already, unfortunately, I would give a low mark because the performance of this fragrance is not the best, I'm afraid. As I already mentioned in the beginning, this fragrance is super affordable, and now in the UK you can find it for 28 quid for 100 ml. And honestly, in my opinion, you can find a better option for the same money. You can find a better fragrance for the same money that will have a better performance, that will have a better longevity, and most probably will be more interesting in the blend of the ingredients. So that's why I believe that it is not very popular among, reviewers and other people who just, love to collect and have different type of fragrances. Doesn't mean that you don't have to buy it if you are interested to have this fragrance and try it yourself. If you love the combo of sweetness of strawberry, being blended in smokiness, leathery and a bit powdery type of scent, then definitely I would suggest you trying this fragrance, because then you will like it. And especially if you do not like very loud and very, screaming type of fragrances, as I mentioned, it is a very subtle one. It is a bit powdery, a bit smoky, a bit leathery, but at the same time a little bit sweet, like kind of strawberry type of sweetness. So yeah, if this is something that you are looking for or you are interested, then it's definitely there for you. Let me know what you think about this fragrance if you have it or if you had it in the past, and let me know what other fragrances are similar to this smoky, leathery, powdery / kind of strawberry type of scents, because I'm really interested to see if I can find any alternatives which are better in performance and better in projection as well, and in the longevity. I would definitely try those fragrances and see what I can find out there. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, but also like my videos. It is free for you, but it means the world to me, and it will help my channel to grow. And don't forget that a fragrance can create a lifelong memory. See you in my next videos.